Welcome back, class, to another live stream with me, Sonja Geracek. If you don't know who I am, I'm a motion designer, and today we will have another instance of the animation collab. I'll be continuing the animation collaboration that I started a few streams ago with Leela Taylor. She's an illustrator of all things cute and colorful, as she says about herself. I'll show you a little bit about Leela so you can make a picture of her. I don't know, that was a weird sentence. I'm just fixing my camera just a little bit because I think it's a little low. This is Leela's work. You can find her under Leela Taylor Illustration on Instagram. And this is the type of work she does. It's absolutely beautiful. She illustrates in Procreate, which I commend immensely since I don't know how to do that. I rarely illustrate, and if so, I use Illustrator. I've never illustrated anything on the iPad, let alone Procreate. So very commendable. And when I saw the first series of this alphabet illustration series, this A with the little deer and with the little bird, I just thought it was so cute. And I asked Leela if I could animate it, and she graciously allowed me to do that. Hi, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining in. So I asked her if I could animate it, and I asked her to re-illustrate it 2 more times on top of the first illustration that she already did, so I could create a sort of fake hand-drawn effect while I'm still animating it in After Effects. And she went ahead and did that, which I can't imagine having been very easy. It's quite a bit of work to create just one illustration. Damn it, I keep switching animation and illustration. Thank you, Leela, for having done that. And I already started a little bit on the setup of the animation, and I've tested the rig with Duik already in the last stream. If you haven't seen that, you can head over to my YouTube channel. All past live stream replays are there. You can also watch the separate series that I have, which is this one, Animation Collab. Then I have Shut Up and Draw, where I don't talk and I just illustrate. And then I also have what did I call it? I just came up with the name today. I think it was work watching. Yeah, like bird watching. You see? Haha. A bunch of alliteration. I thought I was very clever. Okay, so let's jump over to Illustrator. And I just realized I don't have my drink on the table, so I'm just gonna jump into the next room and pick up my drink. I'll be right back to start this animation. Alright, here we go. Trusty mug at the ready. Sorry for that slurping noise, that was not intended. Okay, so where did we leave off? I did a bunch of preparation work, and you can see the animation of the leg already. So this is that fake hand-drawn effect that I was talking about. So it has that sort of, it changes each frame you look at it. It's not actually each frame, is each one of these illustrations are 5 frames long, and I'm working at 25 frames per second. So it's 3 illustrations for 5 frames, which makes it 15 frames, which is just over half of a second. And that's how I want the entire design to look throughout the animation. And the way I've done that is I've created this, I don't know if I'm shouting, I think I'm shouting, I don't know why I'm so excited today. So I've created a composition for each of these body parts that then have the 3 illustration layers inside, and then I looped those 15 frames, I looped that to play forever. I use time remapping for that and the loop out expression. And then it just does that, looping all the 3 versions forever. And now I can use these compositions as just regular layers within this composition. I can link them, and then using a plugin called Duik, create a rig, like a character rig, and then I can move the leg like a leg. Well, this is an arm, but you know what I mean. You know, a leg kind of, yeah, does something weird like that. Sorry for Instagram. Anybody watching on Instagram, you couldn't see my reenactment of a leg with my arm, but if you'd like to see that, you should head over to Twitch or YouTube. You can watch all of that fun over there. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with all of that work. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the body. And today I think I wanted to do a little bit of a shorter stream just because there is a live stream of the School of Motion guys who are talking about Calvary today. So I'm gonna maybe try and catch that. So today will be just short of an hour, today's stream. And I forgot to start recording the stream again. Damn it, I always do that. I need to set up a list that is like next to my screen of all the things that I need to do when I start a stream. I hope everything is going well for everybody in the chat. If you have any questions along the stream about my work, about After Effects, just drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to help. This is why I'm doing this stream. I'm just gonna check the chat if everything's working and sending correctly everywhere. Just my regular welcome to the stream, and it's sending everywhere. Excellent. Okay, so everybody should be able to see me, read me, hear me, and respond to me via the chat. Okay, so let's jump in. Now I have to do exactly the same thing I've been doing for all the other, actually the body, I should have the body 3 times as well. Yes, I do. Great. So I'm gonna grab these 2 body, actually all of the body pieces. But you know what? I'm gonna leave one of them because, and I'll tell you in a minute, I want to create a composition out of this, and I'm using my trusty VFX standard naming method, and it's the body, and I want to move all attributes in the new composition. I'm just going to create that and immediately going to mark and crop that, and I'm going to recolor it fuchsia, I think it was, and move it back to this body, because what has happened, obviously, when you create a composition, well, not obvious if you're not an animator, if you are an animator, then it's obvious to you that when you create a composition out of multiple layers, the composition is the same size as the parent composition. That means this, the parent composition that I'm talking about is this composition I'm in at the moment with all of the layers you're seeing here. More layers than you can see actually, but all of the layers that you can see. And when I jump in, I now have the body in here that I just pre-composed. So as you can see, the size of the composition didn't change. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does get a little bit frustrating to work with when you want to, like for the leg, if I want to touch the leg layer, I can't because I have the body layer on top of it. And if every single layer was like that it was covering the entire space, then I'd have to turn layers on and off to touch other layers. Well, if I want to touch them on screen, I do sometimes want to do that. Otherwise, I have to keep scrolling and find that layer. So it's just kind of a technical reason why I want compositions to be the size of the actual artwork. So what I want to do is I want to crop this artwork, and I can do that easily The only thing that's going to change though is the position of this artwork, because right now it's calculating this position relative to the size of the composition. So if I want the composition smaller but in the same position, then I need to have a reference. So I duplicated one of the body layers. That's going to be my reference for the position. And once I make the body composition smaller, I can copy paste the position of this body layer. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work, because the body is going to be in a slightly different position, because it just depends on what the size of the composition is going to be. But, oh great, yay Leela, welcome. Yeah, so, but I'll still have a reference of where the body should end up, so I can still manually and visually reposition it. So let's go ahead, and there are multiple ways you can do that. You can go into the composition settings, which you can also access by Control K. Damn, today my speed of talking is so fast. I don't know what I was drinking today, a whole bunch of green tea, but I'm like on a roll, I feel like. So you can hit Control K or right click and jump into the composition settings, and then if you have preview ticked, you can then downsize this. You can scroll, you can drag, you can scroll with the scroll wheel, you can hit shift so it only scrolls by 10 digits. And you basically want to get to a smaller number, right? This is already happening. I've been scrolling way too fast, so it's now getting way too big, too small. The thing that you can't do in this method is actually, well, you can. I wanted to say you can't adjust to which way it's making this smaller, but you can do that. You can go to advanced, and then you can say from which position of the composition it's going to start adjusting the size. So if I say don't take anything away from the bottom and the right, now when I scroll, it's only taking, whoops, I'm scrolling the wrong direction. It's now resizing only the left and the top. And you can do that, that's fine, but there's another method of doing that. You can head over here to region of interest, and you can just drag around your composition, make it the size that you want it to be. I want it to be just a tiny little bit larger than the original artwork. And then I can go up to composition. You can't see that right now, but on the compositions drop down, you can go to trim comp work area. No, sorry, crop comp to region of interest. That particular item, menu item, doesn't have a shortcut. So I could set a shortcut for it, but I don't use it all that often, so yeah, I just go up to the menu item, I use that, and now it crops it to that region that I had selected. And as expected, the body is now completely somewhere else. So I can start off with copying the position from the original body layer. I'm just highlighting copy, Control V, or Command if you're on Mac. And now I can see that it's just a little bit off here, right? So now I can just manually reposition it to fit the original body position. So it's somewhere around here. And now I can remove that, and yay, done and done. Now what I want to do is I can already create the markers that I have for the other composition loops, because I want this to loop exactly the same way as the others. So I'm going to copy all of this information, even though there isn't anything changed inside of the comp yet, but we are going to do that right now. Sorry, yeah, I am going a little bit fast today, but just because I've already done this exact type of work in the last stream, I didn't want to be super slow, so it's not boring for the people who have watched last time. Okay, so I'm going 5 frames forward, and I want to cut this one in half. And I want to crop this one to start in exactly the same point. I'm not using the control hard bracket, or I think on other keyboards it's a different button. It's a different key. But basically, if you use the outpoint command, it leaves So if I use the out command here, whoops, no, that was wrong. It's not control, it's alt out. Then it cuts it to that frame. So you're cutting it here, but it's still reading it as, I want this frame to be visible. I don't want this frame to be visible. I want it to be cut exactly at the playhead at 5 frames. Now I'm going to do the same thing. You can also go in here, click, go plus and 5. 5 is 5 frames. If I added a full stop, that would be 5 seconds. Another full stop would be 5 minutes. Another full stop would be 5 hours. And you can do the same thing going backwards. But if you're going backwards, you still have to say plus. So if I want to go 5 frames back, I need to go plus minus 5. And then I go back 5 frames. It's a little illogical, but you know, you just need to think about it as you're adding something. You're adding a positive value or you're adding a negative value. So yeah, I want to adjust my window here. I'm probably not going to use it, but I don't like it when it's looking so squashed. Alright, so another 5 frames forward plus 5, and then I'm gonna cut this. I'm cutting it with Control-Shift-D, by the way, in case you're wondering, and I'm removing it with Delete. And then Alt hard bracket, which is the in point, and then a further 5 frames forward, and then I'm going to cut that. So I'm going to cut it. And again, when you're adding the endpoint, it still calculates the frame after the playhead. And I want this to cut off exactly at 14 frames. It's actually the 15th frame. But the 15th frame is what is ahead of the playhead. I'm actually at the 14th, at the end of the 14th frame. So that's why you see 15, but actually it's the 14th frame. It's a little confusing, especially when you're doing loops, but that's just something to keep in mind. And now the body should be doing exactly the same thing as the leg. Oh my god, I'm so excited about this. This looks so cool. Thank you, Leela, for going to the oh my god, speech, what is it? Going the extra mile of creating these 3 illustrations. It looks so cool already. And this is just the setup. Oh, I'm so excited. This is so awesome. Okay. I haven't eaten a lot today, so I'm going to be munching on a few vegetables. I'm sorry if you don't like people eating. I can mute the mic. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. I stopped crunching. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing for the head and the eye and the ears, but because every time, sorry, I still have a little bit of carrot in my mouth. Every time I pre-compose any kind of layer, it's going to color it in the color of the parent layer, the parent composition. And since I want these head layers to be orange, I'm just temporarily going to change the composition color, and that this is a fun thing you can do in After Effects. You can color all kinds of things in, right? You can label, these are called label groups. So the label groups that the labels that you see here, you can change the layers to, or assign label groups to these layers, and then when you can, blah, so much for being eloquent and talking well. When you click on that label group, you can then select label group, and it selects all of the layers of that color, which is quite useful. And you can do the same thing over here. And I just need to have an eye on Instagram Live so that I actually stop the stream before it just disappears and then I can't post it. So you can do the same thing here in the project window for all the compositions that have the same color. You can also sort by name, by type, by all these different things that you find in the project window. You can also sort by color. I don't know why that would be useful for you to sort your items in your project window by color, but that's a thing you can do. So if you're ever wondering why there's a color here, I basically just use them to highlight or differentiate between parent compositions. So a scene, this to me is a scene, and all the looping animation inside of it, they are just pre-compositions that live in that scene, which is why they have the little A attached to them. That's why they don't have a new number, because a new number would indicate it's a new scene with new layers and new artwork. So I just differentiate the color of the parent composition, that's what I've been calling it, to pre-compositions. So yeah, just so you know what that's all about. I can make this a little smaller. I don't think we need to see quite so much of this plugin. And okay, I hope you can see everything well, and the folders and everything aren't, the windows aren't too small. Please do let me know if you'd like me to change anything about the setup. But for now, we're gonna go and pre-compose the head. And again, I'm going to create a duplicate of one of these heads so that I can reposition the head composition. All right, a head. And then we jump to the beginning, give it a little marker, cut it off, put it above, no, it needs to go a little lower, put it above the head over here, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do, oh no, it still has a little shadow of the ears. It's not supposed to have that. Okay then, I'm gonna have to go into the Photoshop file and make some changes with that. So this shouldn't be a problem because the head is larger than where the ears end, so it shouldn't affect the positioning of this too much. And even if it does, I'm repositioning it anyway. Oh, I guess it's also the main layer that I just duplicated. It would also affect that. But anyway, that's fine. We'll fix that. Somehow I managed to not see that there is a shadow of, whoops, need to have that layer highlighted. There's a shadow of the ears still here. So I'm gonna carefully get rid of all this. I think there's a bit of dust on my screen. Okay, very carefully. I don't want to be getting rid of anything else apart from this ear shadow. Okie dokie, excellent. I'm gonna save that. Now I want the other head. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to turn that on later. Now the other head needs the same treatment. So I'm gonna go in. Going to remove this. Yay. Oh no. I cut into the horns. Don't want that. Okay. Careful around the horns. I think that's everything. I'm gonna see. Oh, my screen is so dirty. I really should clean my screen. But I think I've pretty much caught everything. Okay, excellent. And then the third one. Oh, I should probably turn off the second pass and the first pass, just in case. Oh, where am I erasing? Yes. Okay. Here we go. La la la. Sometimes I sing to myself when there's nobody to talk to. Is that weird? Do you sing to yourself? Okay, so close. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Eraser. Okay. Somehow something came back. I mean, close enough, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Do we have any questions from anybody? If you have questions, let me know. Okay, so I've got this saved. And now it should update. Yay, yeah, the position jumped just a tiny little bit. But that should be okay, I hope. I hope the position didn't shift between them, but we'll see. So now the same procedure. We're going in, we're deleting that, we're cropping that. 5 frames. Again, the same thing. And another 5 frames, and we're cropping that. And that is the end. And then... Okay, let's see. I hope it doesn't... It's not moving, right? I think it's not moving. It's just... The shape is changing just a little bit, but that doesn't matter. It's part of the style. Yeah, I mean, I sing to myself often. Sometimes it's weird because I'm up outside as people that don't know me. But when I'm on stream, it kind of feels like I'm by myself and with people I know, even though that's not true at all, but it feels like a safe place to sing to myself. Okay, I think this is good. Now I'm gonna jump back in and whoops. And I'm gonna copy paste this again. And I'm gonna add that marker. And the position did jump a tiny little bit, I think. But I think it's okay. It should be okay. And the body is... No, that's the body. The head is above the ears. Oh, right, but not all sets of ears. That's the thing, I think. Okay, so, that should be fine. I'm just gonna check with this design just to see if the head is in the wrong position. So it should be around there, which seems like it's in the right position. So I think we should be safe. All right, and then also, but I feel like, ah, yes, there is that extra head. I'm still having that issue that on the last frame there is that doubling of the design. I was having that same issue last time with the leg and the body. I don't think I'm having that issue now, but I can't tell. Yeah, see, there's like on that last frame, you see a change happening, and that change shouldn't be there at all on the last frame. The change should happen here on this frame. So that's strange. But it's usually a disk cache error, so if I'm still having this issue later on, I'll just make those changes then. Alright, I'm gonna do a little bit more munching, so I'm gonna turn off the mic. Come on, mic. another thing that you can do once you've used the region of interest and crop the region of interest, you can still go into the composition settings and adjust the size. So sometimes when you crop a composition, you still want to animate inside of it. I'm not going to do that in this case, but maybe you do. Maybe then you want to keep the composition a little larger depending on your movement, so you don't have to use continually rasterize or what other options? Yeah, so if you don't want your animation to be cut off by the boundaries of the composition, basically. But that's not really an issue for me. I'm going to change the height a little bit more. And maybe I'll cut a little bit off the top. Nope, not bigger, smaller. Smaller, smaller, smaller. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now I have all of these compositions. You can close compositions quickly by hitting Control W, by the way. But don't do that too fast, too quickly. My After Effects has crashed many a time because I did that too fast. Too quickly. Too many too quickly. Too fast, too furious. Okay, now I want to reposition this. It's about right, I think. I want it to rotate from about here. Now I can remove that. And I want the ear to be parented to the head. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do that spiel again with the 5 frames. Oops. And I just realized that I already have an end marker for these, so I always add a marker at the end and at the beginning of a composition. Oh, I see, of course, yeah, it should be here. Oh, I just realized my mistake in thinking. This actually does need to finish at the 14th frame, because from the 15th on, it's already the loop. I don't know if my thinking is wrong in this now. Because, okay, so I want the loop to start on the 15th frame. I feel like I may be wrong in this, but okay, so the head, right, yeah, but then isn't this frame 4 frames long instead of 5? I don't know if I have if there is a mistake in my thinking. Yeah, there's a doubling of that frame for sure. I'm going to have to think about that to see if I'm doing this right. But anyway, let's just go ahead and keep going with this. Actually, I should probably figure this out now, because if I keep going and then it's wrong, that's probably not good. So, this frame, we should have new frame. And that's correct. Yeah, it's super complicated to make loops like these, and you have to think about how the last frame affects the loop and when the first frame starts again. So, oh, it's super complicated. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to purge my disk cache just in case, so that all of these frames are rendered new again, so that I don't have any glitches with the pre-rendered frames. Alright, so here we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now we have that mistake. So now there's nothing, and then the new frame is okay. But this is frame 0. Oh my god, I'm dying inside. Okay. So the last frame of my loop is simultaneously also the first frame of my loop, supposedly. And then the next frame is actually the second frame. Because if you think about it, I started 0, right? The frame after that is the first frame. Kind of, yeah. So when I'm at 14, the next frame after that, because I've already set up the loop, is the first frame. So the last frame is the first frame. That's the realization. I don't really know what that means though for my loop. Oh my god. So this does need to go to 15. So I was correct in the original assumptions that all of these frames do in fact need to go to 15. But the end of the loop is at 14. Okay. I keep having to rediscover this entire fact. I think I did that like 2 or 3 times during the last stream. It is so confusing, y'all. I've never said y'all, felt weird in my mouth. Okay. Huh. Yeah, it's total frameception. Oh my god. Making loops. Like usually when I make my loops, it doesn't really matter if there's like one frame that kind of overlaps. It gets lost in the general aesthetic of the animation. But this is so specific. You can see when there's a frame overlap, so you definitely have to make it exact. Wow. This is a tough game, this looping stuff. Alright, so now I probably need to purge my cache again to get that visibility of the new frames. Okay, we have the frames. Excellent. Why is the head still humongous and not adapted? Oh no. Did I undo the head size? Oh no, and it already deleted the head layer. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. I can just copy it out since I didn't change the sizing of it. Alright. So now we should have no doubling. Oh, I think it's working. And then on that frame it changes. And then it doesn't change until it changes. Until it changes again. Okay, so assuming... So, let's see. This frame should be exactly the same as the first frame. Let's test that theory. I can hit Shift and Home on an extended keyboard. And they're exactly the same! Yay, it's working! Oh my god. Ah! Oh, don't do any loops, kids. It will mess with your mind. Okay, more crunching ahead. Alright, here we go. I was at the head. I'm just gonna copy this out. Just so I can reposition it after I've changed the size of this composition. So I can make it right about this size. Okie dokie. Now I have to reposition it, and I can use this one. Control C, Control V, and then, oh no, what happened to the ear? Oh no, the ear. Okay, I made a mistake. I think this left ear was already parented to it. So I need to undo that before I change the size of this composition. Step by step, don't jump ahead too far before you've finished one thing. That's the lesson here. Copy V. Now I can do some tiny manual adjustments. Further, is this fine? Okay. Now I can remove that. Now I can parent the ear. I can also change the anchor point to where I want the head to rotate, which is probably somewhere around here where the neck would join the head at the back of the head. Somewhere like that. Keeping an eye on the time. We're 45 minutes in. So I'll be staying live on Instagram Live for another 10 minutes probably. And if you'd like to keep watching after that, make sure to head to Twitch or YouTube if you're watching this on replay. Okay. Let's carry on with the left ear, the right ear, sorry. Bloop, 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 bloop. And to locate a layer, if you're somewhere in the depths of your composition with a bunch of layers, you can hit X and it will jump to the layer you have highlighted. Very handy shortcut. Okay, now ear right. And I don't want to parent that until I've actually made the changes here. So first, I'm going to crop this composition and then I'm going to adjust all of the layer lengths and so on. Alright, that's in a pretty good position, I think. Yeah, I think I can leave that in that position. Looks pretty good. Alright, that means I can parent it to the head now. Let's see, for all of these other compositions, I don't need them anymore, so I can probably close these down. I'm also checking if I got rid of that second, this marker. I don't need that marker, so I can get rid of that. And here too. I'm a stickler for a clean workflow. If you've ever seen me do anything, animate anything, or any of my online classes that you can also take, you know that I'm very strict on markers, naming conventions, and all of that jazz. Okay. Carrying on with this, 5 frames forward, and we're doing all of this jazz again. Oh, actually, yeah, in this case, I actually wanted to... No, I wanted to finish here, right? Oh my god, I forgot again. Frameception! I wanted to go until the 15th frame. Okay, this is correct. But it actually ends here, so... It ends on 14, but carries on. Good. Now we're gonna grab this and put it on the right ear. Now this has that niceness too, and the anchor point, of course, where this ear would be rotating from. Excellent. And we keep going. Okay, we're now at 50 minutes of the stream. I think I'm going to say goodbye to the Instagram Live folks, and I'll be right back to continue this animation. Alright, here I am, back to animate. Well, technically we're still only prepping for the animation, but it's all part of animating. So I'll create a duplicate of that layer again, and I'm gonna go through and highlight all the 3 eyes. And again, naming, and this is left, yes, this is the left eye. There we go. crop that down, move it below, and then we want to go in, or I want to go in. I always speak in we's when I'm filming myself, because usually I'm doing online classes and I teach students what they do, and I assume that the students are following along as I'm doing the stuff. So I always say, we do this, we are now doing this and that. So I'm kind of used to that, but in the stream, obviously you're not following along. You don't have the assets, you're not doing the same thing as I am. But the whole we thing is still inside of me. Okay, so we're going back in, and I could have made it a little smidge smaller. Doesn't have to be quite so big. I know it doesn't really make a difference if it's as big as before or as big as now, but I like being precise. It's kind of my thing. It's my modus operandi. Is that the right conjugation? I have no idea. I took Latin in high school. That was a long time ago. And also I wasn't very good at it. Okay, wow, so close. And now I want to just outpoint it. No, do I? No. I want to finish it here. This is how I want it. Yeah. Okay. Keyception, keyframeception! So confusing, God. Yeah, okay, this is the right way. It's the right way. Now we're copying, pasting, and parenting, and repositioning, actually. If I copy paste this position, it's not in the same position. Copy, paste. Why is it there? That's not in the same. Oh, because I already. Ugh, damn it. Yeah, don't parent stuff if you still have to reposition it. Then it's not gonna be in the right position. So I think this time it's pretty much exactly where it should be, so that's cool. And let's keep going, We're so close to being finished. Setting up, that is, not the animation. The animation part is still coming. So Leela, if you thought this was it, nuh-uh. There is definitely another stream coming. Because I will not be able to finish today. Not with the animation part, that is. There's a lot of phases with animation which a lot of people don't realize. There is the setting up your graphics phase, then there is the setting up your Illustrator file phase, and then there is the actual animation phase, then there is the feedback phase and the, you know, redoing certain things or adjusting certain things phase. And then there is the rendering phase, which some people, I had clients that would think, but why are you charging me for rendering? That's just the computer doing its thing, right? Well, no, because first of all, I can't work when my computer's rendering. Now I can, but in the past, the computer wasn't quite as strong. So that's still my work time that is going into the rendering. And then I need to check the render. I need to make sure it's correct. I need to make sure that there was no mistake. I need to make sure that it's rendered in all the formats that I want it to be rendered in. That's all time. That all goes into the rendering time. It's not just press a button and it's done. So yeah. Don't be shy. Oh, I didn't give it a name. Whoops. Don't be shy to tell your clients why you are charging for the work that you are doing. Because it's work after all. You are investing your work hours into what you're doing. It's all part of the project. Yeah. I think this is why I like doing these live streams, because it really shows people, oh, okay, it's not just you do it and it's done. It's I was having this conversation with my partner the other day. It's so many people just think, oh, you're good at it. It's just gonna take you a few hours, right? And it's like, just because I'm good at it doesn't mean time doesn't go into creating it, you know? I might be faster than I used to be as a junior, or I might be faster than somebody else who's not as experienced in it, but it still takes time. It takes work, and you also, something that's underestimated, you don't charge clients solely on the hours worked. You're charging them on the experience you have. You're charging them for all the years that it took you to become this efficient at what you do. You know, it's all part of it. So that's just something to be aware of. Okie dokie. Almost there. I say almost, but we still have quite a few things to do. So, yep, okay. Here. Now I want to resize this. Itchy nose. Alright. Yep, I think that's pretty much in the right position, right? Am I right? Yeah, I think that's fine. And then parent it to the head. And then we need to add the loop again. Yep. And then we still have the bird to go. So I'm going to delete these 3 passes because I'm actually not using them, and I also don't need the composition because I have the original composition that I imported anyway. So in hindsight, I don't need the compositions of the 3 passes anymore because I've separated all of the artwork into their own compositions now. Okay, so what still needs to get done is the bird. So I need to set the bird up, all of these blue layers, again, exactly the same way I just set up the deer. But what we can already do is, first of all, have a look at this beauty. Have a look at this beauty. Boy, oh boy, does that look nice. I love it. It's so cute. And then once I've decided what I actually want to do with this, I think I want to have the bird jump up because the bird doesn't have a lot of motion in him. He can, I separated the legs so the legs can bend, and he can jump up. And as he jumps up, maybe the deer can look at him. So first, I'm going to add a keyframe to its original position so I don't lose that. Then I'll add a new keyframe. And maybe it will rotate to this position. So I'm just going to show you what I meant by having a hand-drawn animation effect, but still not doing a frame-by-frame animation. So if you don't know what a frame-by-frame animation is, it's every single frame is drawn for the entirety of the animation. So similar to how you see these 3 versions of this graphic being drawn 3 times, but that's less than a second, this, right? I would have to do that for at least 6 seconds for each of the movements of the entire graphic, for the entire deer. All right, so this is not a hand-drawn animation. This is a motion graphics animation. This is what this is called, because I'm animating static graphics along or across the screen, and I'm giving it a hand-drawn effect. So let's say this is rotating. It's rotated over there. Oh, it's actually, the rotation isn't working the way I'd like it to work. Okay, so maybe I just need to put the anchor point somewhere else. Maybe somewhere along the top so he can actually look away. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The eye is not parented to the head yet. All right. And maybe the eyes will also move so we can have that looking at the bird effect. Going to keep the original positions. And let's have okay. And then let's have them, whoops, I'm not. So maybe something like that, it's looking somewhere else. And then the bird jumps and the head goes, "What are you doing?" Something like that. So I already like that a lot. It has a super cute, like, cartoon effect just by having those 3 layers of the graphics looping. Oh my god, I love it. It's so cute. So now you can imagine where I'm going with this animation. I think it's going to be really cool. So I'm going to dive deep into the actual animation process next time on the next stream, which is going to be Tuesday. Because if you're new here, you don't know that I stream regularly on Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. CEST. That is Central European Summertime, as long as it still is summertime, which it doesn't feel like, but so far it is. And if you enjoyed Leela's illustration, go ahead and give her some love on her Instagram channel. Give her a like on this graphic and tell her how much you love it, because I do. And if you enjoyed this stream, give it a like. If you'd like to support me, I would love it if you could subscribe on my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitch and or my Instagram. And you can even support me as a patron on Patreon under /Sonja Geracek. There's some pretty cool perks, I might say myself, but really it's you supporting my efforts of teaching online and doing these types of streams. So if you do decide to do that, I would very much appreciate it. If you just want to show up to the streams, I appreciate that as well. So I hope to see you next time, which will be Tuesday. Until then, bye!